Well, Donald Trump is now our 47th President of the United States of America. This election was not even close, which I find odd considering Kamala Harris's rallies. However, how can that compete when you have Elon Musk paying $1 million per day to encourage people to vote for Donald Trump? Personally, I'm disgusted by that. I'm disgusted enough to delete my X account. I'm disgusted enough to never order a Tesla as long as I shall live. I want to take this moment to congratulate those of you who voted for Donald Trump, which was the overwhelming majority of Americans. You chose to vote for a dictatorship, and that is what you will get. America is no longer the land of the free. You have chosen, by siding with Donald Trump, to throw our United States Constitution and our United States flag in the garbage. Personally, I am embarrassed. I am ashamed to call myself an American. In fact, I no longer call myself an American because the values that I hold dear are being aligned with freedom, liberty, and justice. Unfortunately, those are no longer the values of the United States, as the United States has voted for a dictatorship and everything that comes with it. This country is no longer recognizable to me. I find myself surrounded by people that no longer share the same values as I do. You chose to elect a man that is a self-proclaimed dictator. Over 80% of his former staff came forward to warn us he's a fascist. Over half of the country decided to vote for a convicted felon, a man found guilty of rape, a hostile, hateful, old, senile, bitter, treasonous bigot. During his entire campaign, he never once laid out a policy, not one policy, in detail. All he spoke about were bumper sticker level, surface level ideas, concepts, with no real plan, no details whatsoever. As Americans, we deserve better than that. That's why I made over 125 videos sounding the alarm bell, saying this man does not have a plan. This man is not taking the role of being president serious. Leading economists, leading financial firms are warning us that by electing Donald Trump, our country is on course for a recession. I outlined his lies in detail, one by one. And in comparison, I outlined Kamala Harris's details with supporting evidence. But you were too brainwashed, too blinded by your own racism, misogyny, bigotry, tunnel vision. You refused to acknowledge the facts. So now, when the cost of goods, from food to clothes to cars, increase in price by 20%, that's on you. When your mother loses her Medicare benefits, that's on you. When your disabled brother loses 30% of his Social Security disability income, that's on you. When your pregnant daughter suffers a miscarriage and is being investigated for murder, that's on you. When your wife gets raped and is forced to give birth to your rapist baby, that's on you. And when they make her rapist have parental rights to co-parent with you, that's on you. When the cost of imported lumber increases by 20% and new construction becomes even more scarce, that's on you. When Donald Trump conducts his mass deportation operation, which is projected to cost Americans $379 billion, which is projected to cut our GDP by 4 to 6%, leading to a great recession, that's on you. When Trump fills his cabinet with MAGA loyalists that defund the Department for Education, the Department of Labor, the Department of Homeland Security, the EPA, that's on you. When you are no longer offered overtime pay, that's on you. When Social Security is projected to go bankrupt in 6 years under Donald Trump's plan, that's on you. When leading economists project his plan will add $5.8 trillion to the national debt, that's on you. When large publicly traded companies buy up single-family homes in residential neighborhoods, creating lifelong renters, and further increasing the price of homes, making it even harder to become a homeowner, that's on you. When corporations turn into monopolies by less restrictions through mergers and price gouging, that's on you. When Trump deregulates the EPA and pollutes our air and causes sea levels to rise, that's on you. In 4 years, when we have another election and you want to vote him out, but he refuses to leave, that's on you. Americans made it blatantly clear that they would rather incur all of this rather than have a mixed woman as their president. Shame on you. You will get what you deserve. Donald Trump's last presidency, he had the luxury of riding Obama's strong economy. However, that's not the case this time. Although our economy has been built back stronger, our economy is still very fragile. And so this time around, you will get to experience a true Donald Trump presidency. And let me tell you something, it is not going to be pretty. Part of me is actually looking forward to watching those of you who support him relentlessly suffer under his policies and become much poorer, as those of us that have accumulated wealth become much richer. However, this isn't about money for me. This is about doing what's right. It's right versus wrong. It's freedom versus dictatorship. And unfortunately, more than half of Americans chose the latter. Ironically, it is the MAGA supporters that are going to feel the effects of a Trump presidency the most. If you make in the lower 50% of all Americans, you can expect a tax increase under Donald Trump's policy. So to sum up, you voted for a dictatorship for you, your family, and your children. And this will take decades to undo. Being the land of the free, our freedom is not something to take for granted. It's something that we have fought for, our grandparents have fought for, and it's something that you literally just gave up by voting this man in. He told you what he's going to do, and you have to believe him. And unfortunately, there's no way out now. And yet, his most loyal supporters are bragging that Trump won, when in fact, this is the biggest mistake of your life. This is something that your children and your children's children and your children's children's children will never forgive you for. Good luck to all of you. Well, Donald Trump is now our 47th president of the United States of America. This election was not even close, which I find odd considering Kamala Harris's rally